Hey, we back. A rare Monday stream for me. Let me check the sound real quick. What do we got? 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 What's the sound like? I don't know. Let me check the sound real quick. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Music's a little loud. Just a touch though. Just a little scoosh magoosh. Let's bring it down to here. Alright, now we're talking, we're flocking, we're balking, we're hawking. What are we saying? I don't know. We're just saying words so I can show up on the microphone. Hell yeah. Let's bring it down to here. Alright, now we're talking, we're flocking, we're balking, we're hawking. What are we saying? Alright. Hey, bootleg! I thought the guy I went on a date with is a criminal. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Was it at least a good date? Going out with him again on Friday though. Must have been a really good date. Oh my goodness. Alright. Hey, it's been a bit. How you doing? How you doing? I've been working on this a little bit off stream and on, especially on the shading, because I have this huge white light that's coming from right there, so we've got to get that fixed. And for that reason, I'm too embarrassed to say what kind of crime. Oh no. I'm working a bit on this. Look, as long as it's nothing violent, you're probably good. Or, you know, anything that would put you before a grand jury, or get you or make you end up in the back of a getaway vehicle. I've also been trying to work on figuring out how to shade metal. I like where this is at a lot more. One thing I did, because I really didn't like the shading over here, is I switched to this lighter color rather than I was using, I think, this color for the light, and it was really throwing me off because of how purple it was. Comment, oh no. Just be careful, alright? But it was really throwing me off. And as soon as I switched to like an actual just lighter shade of this gray, things kind of came together a bunch, especially as I started adding in a bit more contrast in random spots. So, yay! I'm slowly figuring that out. But one thing I want to work on today, though, is all this stuff that I've been ignoring, which is this fun in the inside of the hair. One thing I just found out is that these are actual constellations, because when I look up Shiina on Denboru, it has each of these little like constellations in here. It actually has them labeled as like, oh hey, that's Pisces, that's Sagittarius, that's this, that's that. I'm like, oh wow, okay. I'm not gonna do all that, I don't think. But this area right here is supposed to be all that, and I also need to kind of do a little bit of a gradient and a little bit of like the hair splitting near the end that I just haven't done, so we want to be doing that today because I've been putting it off for too long, and this has given me a headache, so I'm just gonna keep putting it off. If I can get it figured out and get down like a method that I like, this half is going to go a lot faster, but then I have to do all the gilding too. This is going to take me forever, so I'm just like, oh, well, we're just going to do it later. And there's also going to be a bunch of like little things that have to do with the bees and whatnot, and showing movement for them, but we'll figure that out. All right, but other than being an accessory to crime, how you been, bootleg cereal? Sorry. All right. Well, one thing, it's mostly a bunch of little stars and little pinpoints, followed by some bigger ones. So what I want to figure out right now is the actual big stars. And then we're going to place those around. Place those around kind of randomly. I have a headache today. Oh man, I'm sorry. Wait, didn't I have a... I feel like I had a brush for this. I seem to remember getting lazy at one point and being like, I'm just gonna grab a star brush. Yeah, you can't see the menu I have up. But that is exactly what I did. And especially like comets. Well, that was for something different. Let me try adding this. What layer am I on? I don't want that layer. We're gonna need to actually go like up to here and then this. Oh yeah, I also need to work on these sleeves too. I forgot about that. All right, let me try this. Ooh. Oh, and these actually use the color that you're on. Look at that. Okay. Amazed by how much your art has improved since we first said. Yeah, it's amazing what a couple years will do. It's always what. It's always. It's always. I don't know. I feel like I learn my most whenever I'm like really locked in and I just get really sweaty with something. But at the same time, I learn like. I feel like it widens what I know, but it doesn't deepen what I know. And more, I'm kind of feeling like I really need to be doing like some actual like anatomy studies and things like that. Like some actual practice with that. Because I draw like this one and then I don't touch it again for like weeks to months as I'm doing this whole big piece. But yeah. So I don't know. I don't really know if I really like these stars or not. Actually, hold up. I think I do like these stars. I just don't like them the way I was doing them. Gap? Oh. Yeah, we definitely want them like this. What if they look like this? Whoa, okay, definitely don't want that. I do like that. I just wish I could have What if I was just to go crazy? And I was to just... and then get rid of the ones that I don't want. Like the bigger ones and whatnot. Gonna spread them out a bit. The ones that are over the white part. Actually, I like that one down there. That'll certainly save me a lot of time. I just need to make it look a little bit more random, a little less crowded, and then add in some more details. Stars here and there. That'll save me some time. Let's see. Yeah, I had a pretty good day. I'm not looking forward to tomorrow because you already can't believe anything that you see on social media. But tomorrow, if you're not aware, is April Fool's Day, which means it's going to be a billion times worse. So I'm ready for all the fake announcements and whatnot that are going to be coming out tomorrow. Like, oh my god, Silk Song's being released or whatever. Alright. I'm going to spread them out a little bit more, I think. Make them look a little bit more haphazard. Rather than me just going with a pencil. Which is what I did. Is that something I have to erase here? Yes, it is. Okay. Alright, and now... Although, here's the thing that gets me. That is not the type of star that she has. Hold on. Let me hide this. Let's not get rid of it. Let's try to actually draw one. And see if it looks better than using that brush. That's why I was so straight. I forgot I selected this tool. Oh, something got on my throat. There we go. Thank you, straight line tool. Problem is that they probably are actually going to look better, and I'm going to be super sad. Actually, I can probably use a fill bucket for this. Well, I thought I could use the fill bucket for this. I can use the fill bucket to fix this up. Alright, and then... This is something that I've been putting off for a while. This leg is like somehow smaller than that leg. Also, let me know if you can hear my upstairs neighbors, because they're being kind of loud. They had a terrible fight like a couple weeks back, and I'm kind of always waiting for the other shoe to drop, like, ooh. So we shall see. Actually, I think okay, there we go. That's actually what we're looking for. I needed to use that straight line tool. This is going to be a super jank star, but we're going to roll with it. There we go, and then fill that in a bit. I think it's still not quite enough. It needs just... like a little bit more, yeah. Maybe it's the other side that's not quite doing it now. I'm not a perfectionist, I swear. Okay, there we go. Perfect. That'll do. That'll do. All right. Nah, I can't hear the neighbors. Okay, good. They still got you QA and you're the you do QA, right? They still got you working on the Sims games. It does fit the actual design better, which is unfortunate. All right, well, we just need that one, and then I can just. There's a way where I can set it to paste on this layer. I forgot how to do that. Edit, copy, edit. Is it paste to show in position? Did that put it on a different layer? No, it did not. Oh, it did, okay. Ah, shoot. Okay. Oh. Paste. Paste. Gosh, there's a setting somewhere. I know I've seen it or I've heard of it. Actually, I think these stars might be a little bit too big. Or is there a way where I can save this as like a stamp that I can put down? Let's see. What would you like to do? What would you do if you had an evil emo hedgehog clone of yourself? Evil emo hedgehog clone. Well, that assumes that I'm not already that. But secondly, I'm gonna stop blinding you with my lamp up there and sit down. Thirdly, let's see. Let's see. Evil clones are only evil if they are made to feel evil. This is... hold on. I think I'm going to get super meta here for a second, but I think one of the big reasons why evil clones are evil is because they were treated as evil and tried to be destroyed right off the bat. So they think that they have to do that stuff. Now, mind you, that's not always the case. Sometimes they really are just evil and bent on destruction from the beginning. But I would start out just leaving him to fuck alone and letting him do what he wants, and then only intervening if he actually gets out of hand. So, let's see. I think if a clone needs to be evil... Well, let's see. I think in order to make an evil clone, they have to have a reason to be evil. Although, this is another extremely meta thing. Don't ask me why I've thought of this. But it is I have a theory that if ever we get to a day where we've actually successfully created clones, unless we have a way of directly copying someone's brain into them with all of their memories and just a one-to-one copy of whatever somebody's brain and personality and everything from the original to the clone to the clone to the clone or whatever. Until we have that technology, we absolutely should not be making clones that are on some sort of accelerated growth or whatnot. For example, say you grow a perfect clone, an adult clone of yourself in 3 weeks. Unless you can copy your brain fully to that, it will invariably be evil, because when it comes out, it's going to have a fully formed adult brain with a fully developed prefrontal cortex, reasoning and everything, but it will have absolutely none of the core memories and experiences that shape a person as they grow up, so they can use that fully formed adult brain to not screw everybody over around them. Because if you have all the cold reasoning and the lack of whimsy that comes with adulthood, but none of none of the memories of childlike wonder and better times in the past, then you will just default to that cold reasoning every time, which is how you can end up being evil. For example, let's say that you actually made a clone, you grew it in 3 weeks or whatnot, and then you made it to help you out with stuff around the house, or to make you money. Well, that clone's, once it finally learns how to think and move and do everything for itself, and it knows how to read and write and whatnot, it's to think, okay, my job is to make money. How am I going to do that? Who has money that I can get? Who won't miss it? Wow, you're thinking a lot about this, yeah? Let's see, I also just like to think about random stuff. And for some reason, I've been thinking about clones lately, so you're actually talking about something that I've just been thinking about for really no reason. But, so you think about, well, who has a bunch of money that I can take from it? So their reasoning would probably be especially if they're halfway intelligent, I can't go out and just rob people, because then I'll get in trouble, and then I'll either get killed or go off to jail, and that's just going to make things worse. So I need to steal, so I need to find a way to get money, and how can I get the most of it, the most efficiently, and without really getting caught? They'd probably start running scams and things like that on people, especially on vulnerable people, because they won't have a lot of not a lot, but they just simply will not have any frame of reference for what that person is going to. So they'd probably feel no qualms about scamming old people, because they have no idea what it's like to have grandparents. And I think a lot of things that stops people from doing that is being like, oh wait, I know my grandparents, I love them, I know exactly what it is and like what they're going through, and at times it can be heartbreaking. I can't imagine like putting somebody else's grandparents through that trouble, because what if it was my own? So that's probably what stops a lot of people from doing some really fucked up shit. A clone would have none of that, because they would have none of those positive associations unless you can like directly one-to-one copy your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and personality and memories to them, so that they have all those positive experiences. It's my supposition that any like clone that it goes through any sort of like accelerated growth to adulthood will just invariably be evil. Just no questions. No questions. I think the only way, unless you directly copy the mind, or you like take the clone out like right after it would pass like the uterine stage and raise them as a normal child, are the only two ways for them to not be evil. Anyways. And even if it's like 3 weeks, even if they like have like double the growth period, well, I guess if like they takes them 9 years to get there potentially, but you'd have to have some very, very like strong and caring parental figures and like people around them to really instill that stuff in them. But if not, and especially if they're growing up in a lab, they're gonna be evil. They're gonna be evil. They're gonna be evil. I think it's way more likely to end up with an evil clone than not. This has been my TED Talk. Thank you for coming. Okay. Actually, I have an idea. All right, all that talk about evil clones has kind of made me reevaluate what we're going to do with these. A, I'm going to make these smaller. B, what we're going to do is I'm going to actually, if I'm not mistaken about something, I think all of the bigger stars, no, there's a couple that are like, there's like one right here and one right there, but that are actually like by themselves. Most of the bigger stars are in like the constellations, as it were. So I think I'm going to build just like 3 or 4 constellations and then just kind of like copy and paste them all together around in like varying sizes and degrees. Think smarter than not harder, rather than like copy and pasting this one star a billion times. I'm going to copy and paste it like 20 times and then use that, and then I just move around like different parts in it. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Whatever is going to make this go, whatever is going to make this a little bit faster. Not faster, but less tedious is probably a better way of saying this. Oh wait, no. I need my reference that I have up over here. Yay! Okay. Because this reference is nice and all, but it's also super grainy once you zoom in, and it's really hard to see some of the finer details. So I have a much more detailed one on my monitor. Oh yeah, I did this too. I feel like this bow came out really good. I think it's been a bit since you've seen this, but it's come a long way. I think other than there's some, I think most of what I have to do left is like just some shading stuff for the bees and adding some little extra things with them. Figuring out the shading for this, and then just all like the background stuff in here. But the end is actually kind of within sight, which is nice. All right, let's Okay, so hold on. First things first, I'm gonna put all these down on one copy, on one layer. Wait, hold on. Okay. All right, we're just gonna put all of these together. And then we're gonna move these over here. So I have a little bit more room to work with. I'm gonna build the first constellation. I don't think I'm actually gonna build it off of, no, I'm not gonna actually go through and actually make the constellations that are in there, because that's just frankly too much work. Let's see. Are all the stars oriented the same? Pretty much, yeah. Okay, so then I will do the same. However, one thing that they did is it looks like, no, they're oriented straight up and down. No, they're not all oriented the same. They're all a little off. So it's harder to see from that reference, but I'll show you here. Some are just like this, and some are just like this. Just like a tiny bit to one side or the other. And I think I shall do the same. Because it may, oh, actually, I know why they did that now. Because when they were just like straight up and down, it made them look a little bit like they were just stamped there. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, so actually we want these to be as straight a line as possible. So I'm gonna use the straight line tool. There we go. Okay, and then to be actually circular. Okay. Wait, no, I can see this on here. Is there any that... Yeah, they all connect the stars in between. Okay, so... It's kind of goofy, but I'll take it. Okay, now let's see what this looks like. Shrunk down, shall we? We could do with some of them being big, some of the dots being bigger. And I think or it's really the connecting lines that are too thick. Let's go with like half the thickness on this. See how that looks. I think that's too thin. Let's shoot the difference. Let's shoot the difference a little bit more. There we go. I think that's a better medium. And then we'll make these a tiny bit bigger. Okay. There we go. All right, now let's shrink it down and see how it looks. I like that much better. Okay, then here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna copy all this and paste it 3 times. Move it around a bit. Stick them in places. And then move it down. Grab. Move. I'll even shrink it a little bit. Do a little bit of that. Move it over there. Actually, maybe I'll move it over there. Okay. And then, boop. Grab it. Do that. Shrink it down. Okay. And then move this one down. Actually, I need to name this. Oh, that's that layer. I need to name this layer Constellations. Constellations. Boom. There we go. Oh, actually, I don't like that old placement. It's being covered up too much by that string. There we go. And then, oh, that changed the name. Oh, goodness. Make you really small and put you over here. I need to, there we go. I need to do the name again. Constellations. There we go. All right, that will be the first one. Now we want to make a second. I'll make this one kind of like a string. I am Cillian William. Okay. Oh, that undid the name again. Oh my God, please. But I forgot I need to have like one over here that I could have just pasted it again. Okay. super tiny, and over in the corner. Okay, there we go. No. Okay. And then over here, okay. Then I get rid of a bunch of this. And all this except for that one star. Oh man, I might have made things more difficult for myself. Should have kept that star. No. Okay, then we use this one. I'm gonna want to create like a little line. So we'll start with copying this. Doing that. I can go this way just a little bit. And have it like over here-ish. Okay. Then you put this down. They can all be on the same layer. And then there we go. Still set to a 7, right? Yeah. There we go. I was like, This does look weird, but no, not really. All right. Let's see. I need to go to sleep. I have a job interview tomorrow. Nice. Good luck with this, man. I hope you have a good job interview and a good night's sleep. Bye. Wait, hold on. I need to copy this. I almost forgot. Copy. No. Paste. 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 Okay, there we go. Paste. There we go. One extra one of these. Alright, and then go down. Grab. Move. Spin. Wait, why are we spinning like this? That'll do. Doesn't gotta be more than that. Down. Grab. Move. I want to move you up here, please. Alright, do that. Maybe I'll make you a little bit bigger. I definitely do want to give you a little spin. Alright, and then down. Grab. Put you over here, smaller. A little bit of a spin. And then grab over here, smaller, not too small, bit of a spin. Not spin like that, I didn't like that spin. Yeah, there we go. All right, and then, oh, no, that was the main one. Yeah, put you back over here. Because I need to make one more of you. I almost forgot. Grab, spin, a little smaller, move. Ah, not over there. Spin, okay, there we go. Okay, and then we need to make this one again. And then, yeah, there we go. Okay. All right. Now another one. Let's make this one a little goofy. Let's get a little crazy with it. All right, and copy. No. Paste. Paste. Okay. Do that. Move down. Okay. And now we're going to do a little bit of... Okay, we got a main star. You do. And then a smaller one. And then that. There we go. Okay. This is gonna be a weird one. There we go. Only thing I think I need to do is Hit that, make that a little bit bigger. There we go. All right, perfect. I said I wasn't gonna follow the other constellations, but I pretty much just followed that one. Oh well, whatever. Actually, no, not really. Okay, and then let's edit, paste. Wait, no. Okay, no. Okay, yes. Okay, and then I want to edit, copy, edit, paste. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's see, I'm eventually going to have to move this layer like well below everything. It's eventually going to need to go... Actually, it's going to need to go below... I might just erase some bits. Might be the easiest way. Actually, no. We're just going to do this. Because I realized my layers are absolutely fucked. And putting them below this layer is insane, unless I move that layer like... Oh wait, no, hold on, I need to orient this a little bit differently. Like, oh, I have a question. What if I just bit the bullet and did something I needed to do a long time ago? And what if I just took this and just move this all the way down here? Wow, it only affects this layer. That's so easy to fix. Dang, I should have done that a while ago. All right, that means that I can move this constellations layers. Once I get them, I can move them down too, so they can be behind things. Okay, perfect. I should have done that a long time ago. I thought I had really messed up everywhere, but I should have done that a long time ago. And I probably actually fixed a whole bunch of stuff too, if I'm gonna be honest. Ay, ay, ay. And brought whatever this is out to the front. I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming that can just be erased later. It's probably from this layer. Man, I assumed that there would have been a ton of issues with that, but I guess not. All right, we'll go with it. Okay, then we'll come back up here, and that's this one, right? Yep. All right. Wait, hold on. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We're on the right layer now. Spin you a bit. Move you over here. Okay, there we go. There's no object. There was no object to transform. You're not an object to transform. How dare you? And then do a little Spinny-marinky-dinky-dink, spin-a-marinky-doo. I love you. Okay. And then bring it down. Grab the next one. Actually, I can kind of put these where I want because I'm going to be moving this here in just a bit. So I can put this one over here-ish. And eventually I'm going to move it down below anyway, so I can go there. Okay. And then boop. And then there we go. And then put it there. Make it a little bit smaller behind him. Okay, there we go. All right, and then boop. All right, then I can grab this and I can put this way down below everything, but above that layer. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, things just got so much easier. Actually, while I'm still here, I'm gonna fix this. What layer is this on? That's the thing I just don't know at the moment. Did I put that up on the line art layer like a heathen? I certainly hope not. The bees look crazy whenever I do that. Oh, they're like genuine, like, it's the portal layer. Okay. Okay, so that means I really just need to erase a bunch of this. That's easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right. Yeah, this was a thing. I was thinking like there was something that I had hidden behind that layer. And I was like, I can never unleash this. It'll cause too much chaos. But the second I did, I was like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Should have done that way sooner. It would have saved me so much headache. Because I kept having to go up to this like space layer. Or like this inner hair layer, as I called it. And like erasing bits that like overlapped or like were on the other side of the line art, and it was so annoying. Oh my god. Why didn't I do that sooner? I figured I was gonna have to fix like a billion things, so it was easier to just not do it, but now it's so much easier. Oh yeah, and for those people who are unaware, it is already April Fool's on the other side of the world, especially Japan. I think it's only really like streamers that do that kind of stuff, if I'm not mistaken. I think Picoris has like, I kind of want to see this actually, but she has like, what is that? What line is that on? But she has like a little like Nosagi model that she's going to debut today. Oh man. Oh man. Man, what a difference a year brings. Because around this time is when I was really starting to get into fauna. And this is around when she did her, like, now famous first time ever playing Minecraft stream. And she, like, had like the Xbox mic and all of that. Oh, it was so good. Oh man. April Fools are also good days. You can't trust anything you see on Twitter, just period. But they're usually fun days for streamers. As long as they don't do anything malicious. Although I feel like very few do. I think everyone just has a... Like, there's been so much, like, bad press of people just, like, pranks gone too far. Like, especially with, like, Johnny Somali and that douchebag and all of this. I don't think that guy has any concept of what he's done. And how much and how often he's pissed people off. But I just think he thinks he's immune. But I don't know. But I feel like people's stomach for like malicious pranks is like at an all-time low. And people are really only just want like the harmless, we're poking fun at something pranks now. Which is nice. What? Oh, I know what layer that's on. That's on... Yep, that's on this layer. I remember there was something else I had hidden. I don't remember what it was. Yay! Okay, there we go. That's it, really. And there's a little bits around here I gotta fix up. But they're just tiny, tiny things. Man, I should have done this earlier. Holy cow. Because it's so much easier to erase something when you draw outside of the lines. Then try to figure out where you drew outside of the lines like 3 weeks ago. So much better. Okay. Is there any other like big layers I need to put down below? No. Okay. Constellations. Fire, fire. Let's make another constellation, shall we? I want to make a drinking gourd style one now. There we go. Alrighty. Well, is that already 9? Holy cow. Oh. Oh, there's a lot I need to fix around in there. Did not realize this. Okay, it's mostly on the clothes layer. Like if I erase this here. If I erase this here, does it get rid of it? I think it does, okay. Alright, we'll get rid of this too. We'll fix it as we go along. And this is going to be an incentive to never make this mistake again. Glad I did notice that though. I was watching, oh god, I was watching Mint play The Sims 2. I don't know if she did this on purpose, but she made the craziest house. But at some point she was wondering like, why is never, But she was like at least like trying to be like somewhat symmetrical with it. And I remember at one point she was like, why am I having issues with like everything kind of lining up? And I don't know if she just didn't notice or if she was doing it on purpose, but there was like one tiny block, like the very like top left corner block of her foundation she forgot, and it threw literally the rest of the house off. And I was sitting in my house looking at this being like, I feel like I have to turn this stream off. It's such a good thing I'm watching the VOD of this, because I would have been going crazy normally. Oh. But she went kind of crazy with the decorations, like really just haphazard. So she might have noticed and just been like, just didn't care. Or she really didn't notice. Because it's one thing if you just like put whatever in the rooms and whatnot. But it's another thing to leave the foundation like one block, just one block that you didn't fill in the back, and it's throwing literally everything off. I was this close to screaming at my phone. It's not as bad as, oh god, I had flashbacks to watching Game Grumps back in the day. Watching Aaron try to do stuff. There are still some things in Game Grump episodes that I refuse to forgive Aaron for. The most egregious one is when he was playing Tears of the Kingdom. Oh my god. It was like the fourth. It was like the fourth dungeon. Like, it was on the tutorial plateau, and it was right when you need to go get like the fourth like spirit orb or whatever. Before you. So that you can like level up your hearts or stamina or whatever it is, so that you can actually like open the door. But the game told him like, hey, you need to go back to like where you started and you'll be able to get to where you need to go from here. So he was like, oh, cool. Goes back there, and right before this, the game had shown you, like, what you need to do. You needed to use, like, the reverse tablet, like the time reverse power, to make these, like, water wheels go backwards, so that you could, like, traverse across them. And it's one of those things that he noticed, like, in the beginning, when he was going through like that very first like area, like right after you wake up, he noticed those and was like, huh, there's nothing we can do with those yet. Okay, I'll come back to them later. And then when he finally does get back to that room, he goes back to where it tells him, and he's running around, and the bastard never looks left. Like, he runs through the room. The water wheels he needs to reverse are on the left-hand side. They're super obvious. Like, super obvious. He literally just had to do this. If he had looked to his left, he would have seen those and been like, oh, I need to go that way. It's so obvious. It's so fucking obvious. The bastard never looks left. He runs through, he's always looking along the water on the right-hand side and never looks to the fucking left. And at one point, he, like, goes back to the room. He doesn't see it. He teleports back, and then he teleports back, and he like runs through it again. He like goes further in. He goes further past where he's supposed to be and whatnot. At one point, he even turns around, and he starts going back through the room that he just came through. And was like, yes, he's always looking to the right. Now he's going backwards through it. He's gonna see what he needs. But the bastard looks left at that time. looks at the same type of the room, same side of the room, but going the opposite direction. And I, to this day, I cannot handle that level of stupidity. Like, fine, it's one thing to not be the best at games and whatnot, or to miss something that's in like the background or something that's kind of hard to see, or to like miss something randomly here or there. I get that. That's fine. I don't forgive you for not looking left, though. Like, not taking the time to turn right and left in a room is crazy. What layer is that on? If I ever get the chance to meet the Game Grumps one day, I'm telling Aaron that I never forgive him for that. That'll never happen, but... What layer is that on? Did I put that on the clothes layer by mistake? I did. Well, I put some of it on the clothes layer. Not all of it. What layer is that on? Wow, it's up here. Okay. What layer is that on? Oh, it's on the skin color layer. I just missed that one. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. We fixed that. There's a few little things here and there that we need to fix, but those are minor. And they're mostly on things that I'm going to be fixing later, so I'm not too worried about those. Let's go back to making our... Oh god, I should have done this so much sooner. I am so proud of this face and what I've done so far for Shiina herself. The bees, I think, are going to get a bit annoying, but we'll see. I'm hoping they'll go pretty quick, but again, we'll see. But once I figure out what I want to do for one, that'll make the rest of them go pretty quick. All right, let's make our next constellation, shall we? There. There we go. All right, I think I'm only gonna have this one star. And I want this to be kind of drinking gourd related, so. Well, I guess like North Star. Okay, there we go. There we go. I'm not really too crazy about how symmetrical this is. We need a desymmetric cut. We need to make it more asymmetrical. Desymmetric eyes. Make that a little bit bigger. And not that one, this one. Okay. There we go. Okay. I like that better. Alright, there we go. And then copy, paste, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Doop 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 boo. 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 Start moving some of them just off the screen. All right, and then bring it down. Bring it down. One hop this time. No, I don't like that because it's... Okay, then I do that. If I move this space up right here, that would do that, yeah. All right, but then I just have to do an easy peasy, wrong. Go up to, or up here. Just erase that and we're good to go. Okay. And then okay, hold on. Okay, yeah, that does. Okay. I had no idea if I'd actually hit the right button or not. Alright, I'm gonna move this over here. Okay. I'm just gonna leave that full size because why not? Come over here. None of the constellations ever overlap with each other. Alright, move you down one. All right, move it down. This is the last one we're going to put into place. Move this up and over around here. Okay, there we go. Move that down and then we get rid of this one. And we make our last one is probably going to be you guys are killing me. Hey bird, how's it going? Sorry, I wasn't watching the chat. I missed you come in. How you been? You're fine, no problem. Thanks. I am finally doing this bit. All of this inside bit. And I'm just making my own constellations and putting them around. And we're gonna fill them in with a couple like little stars here and there. There we go. Let's see, it's been weird. Did I tell you about me opening up a class but feeling lonely? Yeah! You said you'd opened up with, I remember something along those lines. It was in, like, your Spanish class or something like that. How have things been going with that? I'm thinking like one out here. Then one a little bit further along here. Actually, like this. Okay, then I have an idea for what I want to do. Grab this. Okay. Yeah, it's still been on my mind. Don't get to know if anything happens revolving around that until 2 weeks. So waiting for your teacher to return the paper to you or something? See if I like this. I think I like the original idea I had in my head, where it wasn't connected. Yeah, I like that a little bit better, where it's not connected. Yeah! No, I said that feeling part out loud. I'm just on a break right now. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. You guys have a long break. So I didn't remember. It's been a bit. I did this bit last. Oh, because I noticed something I didn't like. This like one line right here was a little off. That was going to drive me crazy if I copied and pasted it a billion times. Okay, there we go. Yay! It just so happened that the day I said it out loud was the day before break. Yeah. That's how it goes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And we're just going to fill in areas that I think need it. But what's important at the end of the day is that you said something. Being able to admit that stuff out loud, even in any sort of capacity, is usually good and allows you to actually start dealing with it in some way. On the plus side, I started to learn the song Rough Boy by ZZ Top, and I'm at the outro solo now. Fun to play. Hey, nice! ZZ Top, I think I once saw them perform live. Or at least heard them performing live. Why's my phone blowing up right now? Oh, that's why. It's blowing up. My friend groups just got done doing something. Okay, and then grab this again. Okay. And then bring this down. I'm gonna run out of these. Let's see. I'd say there's a pretty popular band. Wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, it was at a my town I lived in. It's I grew up in, I should say. It's a tiny town. Well, I guess. Yeah, it's a fairly tiny town. Only like 30,000 people live there. However, they would have this like music festival that they would do every year, like right on like the riverfront. And we would get like a bunch of big people to show up. I know we've had ZZ Top come. In fact, I think they've come a few times. I want to say once we got Katy Perry to come. Like when she was like just starting to like become known or whatnot. I remember it was like fairly early on in her career, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, what's a spot that I need to fill in? Kind of right here-ish. Let's see. But yeah, I can't remember if I actually went to go see them though, or if I just like heard them. Did that not delete their message? Okay, yeah, I did delete their message. Okay. They're not even trying to hide it. Well, I guess actually I think that V is slightly different than a normal V. There's like a tiny little thing on it. Anyways, sorry, stream. One of those like bots that comes in and tries to get people to buy like stream bots. Wouldn't be surprised, yeah. But it was a while ago. But they're pretty cool. I think I do remember. I do remember seeing them. I just don't remember in what capacity. There's no objects to transform. Yeah, okay. Okay, and then I just kind of come over here and do a little racy. There we go, perfect. All right, then there's just this area right here. I think I'm gonna hit this with, I think I'm gonna hit it with this one. Wait, no, I have to paste. Almost forgot that. Yay, okay. Then we're gonna do this, that. Make it a little bit bigger. Okay. Put this down below. And you made a lot of progress on this. I remember when you were still on drawing the bees. Yeah. I worked a bit off stream. I've been working on figuring out the shading of this metal. I changed some of the coloring. If you remember, this used to be like this lighter color used to be a way more purple color. And just today I was playing around because I didn't like anything, and I got rid of like the purple and I just made it like a lighter gray. Liked it a lot more. Immediately it helped a lot. So I like that so much more. All right, and then I think we just need one more to grab. Kind of put over there, so I'm gonna grab this one. Let's actually grab this. All right, make it a little bit bigger. Okay. There we go. Now we got all the constellations. Constellations. All right, so I'm tired, I'm heading to bed. Good night. Good night, bird. You have a good one. And now we just need to add in some stars. Actually, can this be done with droplets? Hold on. No, I don't like the color. I don't like the shape. Let's try the spray. Are these actually circles? These are circles. Let's see if we can't up the particle size a bit. This is exactly what I wanted. This is gonna make this so much faster. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's already it immediately makes it look like it is a actual star field. too thick there. Sounds like they're rocking the baby. I'm so glad I finally took the time to do this. It makes it look so much better. It was not nearly as difficult as I thought it was going to be. I was not looking forward to this process. Ooh, a little too thick there. I don't like that. I want to keep them relatively light. Now, her... It is a little busy. I put all this on the same layer. I'm so dumb. It's a lot to... Actually, a lot to commit to if I ever want to... I hope I can go back enough. Because I think the part density is a little too high. Oh man, this is going to be real close. I want to down the density just a little bit. Shoot, that's as far back as I can go. Alright, that'll have to do. I need to do this on a different layer. I was dumb for how I did this. I need to do this on a different layer. I just started going for it. But I literally just decided that the density is a little too high. And it's kind of distracting. And a little too busy. Okay. There we go. Okay. Oh, hello. Goodbye. All right. Let's go back to here. I like what we got. Density's way too high. Let's go down to like 40%. It's not density. It's not density that I want. Not particle size. It's particle density. Oh, that's a lot better. Okay. Particle density needs to be like as low as possible. Actually, I think it's gonna be better to make the brush like way bigger. No. And then, but keep the particle size small. Yes. This is what I want. Oh, that's like the perfect amount. that looks so good. Oh, now we're cooking with gas. And they're all varying sizes too. Oh, that's so good. I want to hit like this area just a little bit more. There we go. And maybe just like a touch up here. Okay. Perfect. That's so much better. Okay. Now get rid of these little ones out here. Sorry, little ones. You're gonna have to go. Any more down here? Okay, there we go. Alright, there we go. That looks so much better. I didn't do it on the wrong layer. Okay. Styles. Okay. Boop. Okay. I didn't do it on the wrong layer. There we go. Okay. Okay, now one thing. Her hair's got all these, like, extra, like, braids and things like that in it. This needs to be some, like, breaks in here. Oh, God. Ah, it looks so much. It looks so good. But now I need to add asymmetry. Okay, well, how would that look? How would that look? How would that look? That's going to be on the hair color layer. I need, like, the base hair color. I've lost that a long time ago. Well, actually, no, I didn't. It's right here. Wow, that is a difference. Oh, the wrong one. Wow, before? Ah! It's negative, Shiina. And after. Gotta love shading. Okay, what was I doing? Oh, I grabbed that color because I needed to add some stuff like... I need to bring up my thing I was looking at. Okay, yeah, there we go. can't decide if my neighbors are being loud or not. It's like there's more people than usual up there. Maybe they have friends over? Which is weird because they have a kid now. Although they definitely did have friends over, like... I don't remember when it was. It was sometime last week. Or maybe the week before. I don't remember. It was someday. At least it sounded like they had friends over. Or maybe the guy had friends over? I don't remember. No. Okay, this is actually probably not going to be too difficult to implement. All these different, like, cuts in the hair, or like the hair like coming apart and things like that. I was thinking this was going to take a while to do, but nope. This is actually pretty easy to implement. Okay, but I do need to make this one going the other way. No. Oh, and I'm an idiot because I... Oh no, that's on a different layer. Okay, and then we have that. And then now I just need to go back through and first the stars. Just need to do a bit of erasing. Oh, maybe not everything's on the layers it's supposed to be. That's all right. Okay, maybe some things are on the layers they're supposed to be. Constellations. Get rid of this bits. And then here. Now it's going to be over here. Oops. Get rid of some stuff I wasn't supposed to. Alright, and then looks like that actually is on the stars layer. What is that bit? Excuse me? Okay, that was there. Alright, and then it's going to be easiest if I do this. A little bit more erasing and Yeah. Now it's starting to take shape. What is going on here? There we go. And doopa 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 doopa. Doopa 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 doopa. What time is it? Oh, we're getting close. Okay. This will be the last thing I'll finish up. I'll see how it looks. Oh, actually, that's dumb. I need to see how it looks. Before that. Oh, never mind. Yep, this was needed. And then I need to do some shading and whatnot around in there. Okay. Man, I'm glad I made the changes I did today. They were much, much needed. I was bringing everything together. Do-do-do. I gotta see bootleg cereal again. You haven't been around in a while. Always nice, always nice. Nice. What am I do after this? I'm gonna try to catch up on Nimi's Elden Ring VOD. There was so much to watch last week. And I'm still trying to catch up on the VODs from last week. There's some that I'm just like, yeah, we're just never gonna do this. And I'm just gonna go off of clips. Like Mint's demo disc stream. If I have time, maybe tomorrow I'll watch that. That was needed. But one thing I do need to add in real quick is a little bit of this behind to give it a little bit of layer, a little bit of depth. Alright, and then Oh yeah, that was needed. Okay. Wow, this is like an entirely different painting from when I first started today. When I first started today, there was none of this. It's entirely different. How did one get like a different layer? I don't know how that got there. All right. That's on this layer. Okay. Oh, it looks so much better. Oh my god, it looks better. I might add like a few stars like out and around here. Actually, let me do that real quick. Let me hide this reference. And okay, yeah, that is actually super needed. And then I actually want to go down to here. I want to do the same thing. Just like a couple that will sneak through. Okay, there we go. Oh, but I'm using the wrong color. I'm using the wrong color. I need to be using this. Actually, I need to... add a few stars, but I need to keep the density real low out here. So it really looks like this is an explosion of like life coming in that she's bringing. But just those little points are going to be absolutely fantastic. Okay, perfect. Yay! There we go. I'm liking this. This is where I can actually see the end zone here. I need to fix up these freaking scissors. I think I'm just going to keep working on them off stream because I had to play around with that a ton before I get someplace that I like, because I'm sorry, I had to burp and I just decided to do it. So blah blah blah. Excuse me. I suddenly had to burp. I think I'll play around those off stream because I had to play around with it a bunch and it's not the most entertaining. It's just a lot of me pulling my hair out, going like, "Does this look good?" And then looking up stuff and being like, "How do they do that?" And blah 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 blah. But yeah, I also need to fix up. There's some shading on the legs that I need to worry about as well. A little bit, but we'll see. All right. But yeah, and then there's some other things, and then it's mostly after that. It's going to be the bees. They're going to be the funnest to figure out going up through next. All right, but yeah, that's going to be it for today. It's been fun. It's been real. It's been real fun, but it has not been a fun reel. I will probably be back not tomorrow or Wednesday, probably Thursday. Yeah, probably Thursday. All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and y'all have a good one. Peace.